Hey guys, welcome. Welcome aboard if you're brand new. Welcome back if you are not. And welcome home if that sits perfectly for you. Today we want to talk about what is up this week in terms of energy and astrology and just intuitive messaging for the week of the 16th through the 22nd of December 2024. The year is about over. Unbelievable to me. Let's get right into it as always. On Monday, the 16th, we start with the Cancer moon, quincunxing both Mercury and Venus in the morning. In the afternoon, that Cancer moon trines Saturn and squares Chiron. So this is a kind of an abracadabra day. Here's the deal. As Mercury is starting to pick up momentum, your words are going to be wrapped in more power inherently, right? That's how it works. So make sure that you are solid in your intentions. And remember that those words are what you are conjuring, what you're calling to you. So make sure that you're very grounded in your expressions, also firmly in your sense of home. Remember, when we have any kind of Venus involvement, we want to make sure that we're talking about home, right? What home looks like, what it sounds like, what it tastes like, what it smells like. And as always, that is just for you. Oh, hello. Thank you. We'll take that. So lean into what you can do surrounding those concepts and release anything else, even the weight of that release, right? So that's a grave point, right? There's an energy to releasing a thing. Make sure that you release it all the way, okay? On Tuesday, we have that Cancer moon sextiling Uranus, quincunxing the Sun, and trining Neptune before the moon moves into Leo around dinner time. And then that Leo moon opposes Pluto a little in the evening. So you might find a shocking or surprising up level to the ways that your dreams will spring into manifestation on Tuesday. So remember that your personal power is the activator. Listen to that. Remember that your personal power is the activator and that your beliefs are the scaffolding, okay? And those remindings can help you shape what it is that you're creating. Hello, thank you. We will take you too. On Wednesday, the 18th, that Leo moon is going to conjunct Mars, trine Mercury. The Sun in Sagittarius will square Neptune. And then the moon will oppose Pluto, quincunx Saturn, and sextile Jupiter. Trust your experience on Wednesday. Trust your experience. You are your own expert. You understand your story and your narrative better than anyone else can. You know your limits and you know your capacities better than anyone else can. So trust your experience, right? And that also means trust your intuition. On Thursday, the 19th, that Leo moon is going to trine Chiron, square Uranus, quincunx Neptune, and then Venus trines Jupiter. Venus in Aquarius trines Jupiter in Gemini, right? And then the Leo moon will trine the Sun just before the day turns, honestly. Nice. You know exactly what your heart desires. And you know exactly what you desire, especially on Thursday. And you know exactly what that is, but the how to get it might feel challenged. If that is the case, lean into the vision of the what, right? The how you want to feel, the what it inspires in you, and realize that the question of how is just an expression of what you fear, perhaps that the reality won't satisfy as much as the idea does. And so release the fear and claim everything without limit, right? Claim that vision without limit. Claim that idea without limit. And see what's between those spaces, right? Yeah. On Friday, the 20th, the moon moves into Virgo just after the day turns. Look at this. Look at this week, you guys. So far, these are amazing. Anyway, the moon moves into Virgo early in the morning. That Virgo moon quincunxes Pluto, also early in the morning. And then around dinner time, that moon will square Mercury. On Friday, remain focused on the space beyond your fears, right? The seismic amplifications of that courageous acceptance of, let's call it, absolute personal responsibility, will echo long, and it will create, as opposed to the inherently destructive vibration of fear. Remember, we think that fear creates a safety, when in fact what it does is destroy what is already available to you. So choose your courage. Choose to stand in responsibility, and fear will manage itself. On Saturday the 21st at 3:21 a.m. Central Time, the sun moves into Capricorn, right? It is the winter solstice. It is Happy Yule. It is all of those things. Capricorn season. Also, Mercury leaves storm on this day. So Mercury's energy is back to that place where it was before we began Mercury's retrograde period. So we have the sun moving into Capricorn. We have the Virgo moon opposing Saturn, squaring Jupiter, and then quincunxing both Venus and Chiron. Sorry, I'm reaching. Capricorn season brings a weight to reality, right? Always, as the wheel of the year kind of turns, right? Our thoughts get a little more sober and a little more assessing. Where have we been this year, right? What have we done? What have we accomplished? And how are we going to move forward? Because this is part of that turning of the wheel. The energy kind of delivers us these big squares this year, reminding us that once we learn those lessons, right, because squares are dynamic tension, right? A square in a circle gives you two oppositional points, not oppositional, but very antithetical. And so once you balance the power, once you learn both points of that square, you have the power of it available to you. So the more that you are able to mind your journey, right, those answers and the directions are all open to you. So make sure that you're listening. Make sure that you are learning, right? It's important, especially at this time of year, as you're doing those end of the year wrap-ups, those summaries, those witnessings. Pay attention. Pay attention to where you've been and what you can carry forth without attaching yourself to the place where you learned it. Yeah. And then on Sunday, that Virgo moon trines Uranus and opposes Neptune. Very exciting. And then the moon moves into Libra in the afternoon. That Libra moon will trine Pluto, square the sun, and sextile Mars. Sunday, right? This is a lovely day to remind yourself that words are, wow, hello. Words are spells. And sometimes your actions speak for themselves. You hear what I'm saying? You talk what I'm saying about? So balancing those lines between word and deed, thought and action, right? That is done when you witness that you're the dynamic center point between thought and deed, word and action. And that center point as yourself is in constant motion, right? You're not static. You are dynamic, just as the very idea of balance itself is a dynamic concept. You're constantly balancing. You're constantly in motion. You're constantly weighing those options, those choices. even in stillness, right? You are still making a choice. And so this is a reminder, move wisely, just as you would choose wisely, right? Okay, let's talk. On Monday, the 16th, you have the Ace of Swords and the Page of Wands. This is that abracadabra day, right? So what words are you putting out there? Remembering that your words are wrapped in power, and that as long as your intentions are solid and you're really minding what you conjure as coming from this space of home and heart and what is passionately important to you, that these words are allowing you to witness how home is your, let's call it, your mode of operation, right? You're always and constantly moving toward what that is. And if you can release everything else, right, and just allow that to be your push forward, right, your staff of power in both instances, you will always be capable of creating in that energy. On Tuesday, the 17th, we've got the Wheel and the Four of Wands. This is lovely, right? We talked about how there could be an up level to the ways that your dreams are manifesting. Look, you've got the Wheel here. The Wheel is always reminding you that everything is in motion. You're in constant motion. And if you can balance, right, where you are in that manifestation cycle, in that creation cycle, and remind yourself that, again, your personal power, right? Because where you are standing is always that point of creation. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to get this to... All right. Well, you know what? If it focuses, it focuses. If not, whatever. Reminding yourself that your personal power is the activator. And those beliefs, right, are the scaffold. And where you move is how you're shaping your own, not just your experience, but what is conjured in that next breath, right? And you have, again, you've got this sword in that moment. You have the reminder that you are here to passionately create your experience. And that means not only moving forward, but releasing what has been, right? Those are simultaneous. That's how we get into flow. We have one hand toward what is coming, one hand releasing what has been, and yet we are fully grounded in the moment, because that is the only moment that there is, right? On Wednesday, you have the Four of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands, again with the Wands, right? So what are you holding on to? What are you defending? This is the day we're talking about trusting your own experience, right? Do you need to hold on to the things that created the experience? No. Do you need to defend the things that created the experience? Absolutely not. Remember, you, right, this guy and this guy are the only thing that matters. It's not what you're holding, right? In fact, what you're holding weighs you down. It's not what you're defending. In fact, what you're defending keeps you stuck. So make sure that you are trusting your experience, because that is the way that you get to move forward, right? You can only release what you have claimed. Once you claim it, it weighs nothing. It weighs nothing once you claim it. So claim it all. Claim your experience fully, right? On Thursday, we got the Hermit and the Chariot. Fascinating energy here. So the Hermit is all about that inward journey, right? Finding the inward light. The Chariot is all about how you move forward as directed by that light, right? Remember that the Chariot reminds us that we have two things, right? And it is that what we want and how we get it, and what we want and how we get it. And sometimes if you don't know how, right, we talked about this, if you don't know how, focus on the vision, right? Focus on the vision. How does it feel? What is the experience of that thing you desire? If you don't know how to bridge the gap, right? If you don't know how to create that next right positive motion, then just be in the light of what that is and what it means to you. Sometimes, again, we are afraid that that movement, that conjured reality won't actually satisfy us in the way we believe it could, should, would, right? You see me air quoting. So we know that those things aren't true. If you're authentically in your experience, it doesn't matter whether or not you believe it will satisfy you, because it is satisfaction itself, right? The belief is the weight. So just make sure that you're releasing the fear that you won't be satisfied, the expectation that something will not make the progress or the motion worth it, because the journey is the journey in and of itself, right? The light creates what it is that you came for. So on Friday, you have the Knight of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups, right? Remaining focusing on that space beyond your fears. Remember that there's everything over there. And here's the thing, that absolute personal responsibility represented in the Knight of Pentacles, right? Slow but steady progress, always trusting the journey, always trusting the mission, not getting lost into the, let's call it, the vibration of fear or overwhelm. Oh my gosh, what do I choose? Oh my gosh, what do I choose? Well, it doesn't matter what we choose if we're choosing based on the trajectory, right? If we're in the journey, we're not ever looking up at, oh my gosh, am I going the right way? No, I'm just immersed in this moment, enjoying this part of the process, right? All the choices are mine because they all dwell here. Here. The only place you can ever be, right? Look at that. You got the Two of Cups and the World. This is beautiful. Way to start out a Capricorn season, right? Way to start out a solstice energy here, especially with Mercury leaving storm. Really conjuring our expression, our widest angle of union and divinity as we assess what's happening, right? Just like up here with the Wheel of Fortune, we want to make sure that we are integrating the lessons that we've learned, right? Not just, oh yeah, that happened. Oh yeah, that happened. Oh yeah, that happened. No, we have to really look into the cups and figure out why these things showed up for us. Making sure that we're paying attention to both points of the challenges, right? What happened and why? What happened and why? Finding the purpose in everything so that we can deeply integrate these things, so that we can move forward as lightly, right, as possible, as lovingly as possible, as full of compassion as possible along this path, along this journey, right? This magical journey that is your life. Balance and harmony are, again, this is a dynamic process. It never stops. Even when you think that you're just sitting there holding those cups, you're still in motion, even when you don't believe it, right? There is a beautiful similarity, right? The union is within, right? The union is within. All that balance happens within yourself before it can ever happen out here. And it happens out here because it happens in here. So make sure that as you witness your, again, your intentional process, that you're really looking at the ways that you're moving and why, right? And on Sunday, the High Priestess and the Six of Cups. This is lovely, right? And we're talking about how words are spells and your actions speak louder than words sometimes. So here's the deal. When we're talking about the High Priestess, we're talking about that internal dialogue, that internal sacred reverence for the unconditional. How is it that you are creating balance between all of these internal and external things, right? How has your sense of unconditional love created your reality? And how does your reality get tempered by that belief in unconditional love? How do they work together? How does your intuition really draw on the experiences and the healing that you've allowed in your life? Well, you know what? The bottom line is, once you conjure all of your experience as sacred, as reverent, as that brilliant space to draw upon, there's really nothing that you're ever going to be missing out, right? Your whole experience will be that of witnessing unconditional love, not just for yourself, but through yourself and as yourself, right? Really calling it all together. I love that we get everything is energy, including you, my very, very favorite, right? Because it's all energy, and all you're doing is drawing your own vision and witnessing the places where you're in the way, where there is a resistance, right? And all you have to do is allow that resistance to be dropped. Again, we talk about when we're tug of war, if one side gives up, there's no more tug of war. There's no more tug of war. So if you release your resistance, if you release the way that you're blocking what needs to come in, or what you desire to come in, perhaps, if you drop your resistance, then it can only be there, right? It's already there. You're just blocking it. Nothing is lacking. Nothing is lacking. Look at that. Look at that cute little caterpillar of opportunity. I love this. Let's see what the Oracle has to say on this. Number 4. Caterpillar, transformation. Opportunity, independence from conditioned responses. Okay. The energy of cat or pillar appears, heralding a time of transformation and opportunity. Really? I think we just said that. Here you're being asked to revise your dreams. If it looks and smells familiar, step away from it for the time being. The new cannot emerge from the old, right? And youthful and vital cannot emerge from aged and sickly. Experiment and surprise yourself what arises for you in this moment. Caterpillar is an invitation to test out a new strategy to get different, better results. Remember that the definition of lunacy is continuing with the same thinking and behavior and hoping for a new outcome, right? We have talked about this here. Everything is turning and shifting, and you are only steering. You're not driving. There's a difference, right? There's a difference, and that difference is everything. Okay. It's time to break away from habitual responses, to surprise yourself and startle others, eliciting a smile or a frown or a look of awe from those around you. Do not wait for an invitation from life to practice a bit of outrageousness or for permission to do the unexpected. Right? We've talked about this. You have to shift what it is that you're involved with so that you can get that new result. Any other response right now will lead to more of the same or no real change. Again, you can keep going round and round, or you can realize where you're holding your pattern and step off, change it into something new, right? Sometimes the most original response is no response whatever. Stand stock still, staring into the eyes of the players in the drama, avoiding engagement until the moment is right. We talked about this as well, right? You can get stuck simply in a response pattern, and sometimes you have to stop and assess in order to make sure that you're going in the direction you are choosing, not the one that your momentum is choosing for you. Caterpillar invites you to witness the story unfolding, knowing that deciding on the timing of your action is as essential as finding the best move to make. When you do act, let there be no doubt in anyone's mind of your determination and of the power that you choose to unleash. So again, move wisely, right? Move when it's right for you and watch what happens. I love this, especially in this week where Mercury comes out of storm and your expression opens up. Remind yourself, keep reminding yourself that the more you wrap your words in your own power, the more you are going to witness the integration instantly. Why? Because everything is energy, including you, my friends. Here's the deal. Please take good care and be super blessed. Until next week. See ya. Thanks for being here.